Rock with me, y'all. Kinda move with me, kinda groove with me, kinda move with me, kinda groove with me. Just loving life, that's all. Today we gotta talk about Teddy Atlas and Jeff Horn's team wanting him suspended and banned if the rematch happens with Manny Pacquiao. They don't even want your boy Teddy in the building. Y'all know we gotta talk about this. Amazing Eric Sports Show, let's go. Whoa! Amazing Eric Sports Show, let's go. Let's go, man. So, according to an article on BoxingScene.com, I will have that article posted right down in the description box for you to check out. And also, on a great video I saw from one of the kings, one of the godfathers of this whole boxing game on YouTube, 78 Sports, had a great video on this also. Check it out. Shout out to you, 78. Salute to you, brother. Keep it up. You're a role model for all of us out here. But listen, in this article, Jeff Horn and his team, basically the Jeff Horn team, I should say, is talking about they want Teddy Atlas banned if there's a rematch. They don't want Teddy commentating. It seems like they don't want Teddy in the building. I don't even know if they want Teddy to watch the fight. Now, I would be remiss if I didn't start with this. Teddy Atlas is a boxing expert. So, let's be clear here. We are not disrespecting Teddy Atlas. Teddy Atlas has forgotten more boxing than most of us will ever know. So Teddy deserves respect and he is an expert. But we have to look at what the quote-unquote expert commentators do. And not just boxing, but all of sports. What that expert commentator usually does is critique people. You usually have a lead call guy, lead play guy. That's the guy that's going to be the main voice. And then you have a former player in that sport, whether it be football, basketball, and then you have the expert. Now, the expert is usually there to critique people. Here's the thing about the expert, though. Are we ever allowed to critique them? Are we disrespectful? Are we wrong if we critique them? Can they pretty much take what they dish out? That's the question here. As this relates to Teddy Atlas, who's the expert, we all know how his feelings on the Manny Pacquiao-Jeff Horn fight went. We know Teddy felt like it was a robbery, and if you listen to that whole night, Teddy was kind of argumentative that whole night. No matter who was saying stuff, he was arguing with Tim Bradley. He was going at this person. So Teddy was really, really serious about this. And here is the thing. After the fight, when he was interviewing Manny Pacquiao and Jeff Horn together, I personally felt like, and this is just my opinion, in no way do I mean this disrespectful to Teddy, this is just my opinion. I personally felt like it was disrespectful, some of the things he was saying right to Jeff Horn's face. It's okay to feel like Pacquiao won. It's okay. I judged the fight for Pacquiao. 115, 113, I thought Pacquiao won the fight. But in that man's moment when he's went through, if you look at his face is all busted up, his nose is turned all funny, his ears blue. For Teddy just to go at him and talk about a participation award and pretty much call him out on public TV like that, I personally thought that was disrespectful. I'm a person that believes athletes deserve our utmost respect, especially boxers and these combat sports guys, because they go in there and get busted up. That man's trying to celebrate. You can make your opinion known without basically putting him out on Front Street, calling him out like that. And that takes us over. That's a segue into our second point here. Just because an expert commentator says something does not always mean it's right, just because they're an expert. Now, you're an expert, so you have more experience than other people in the field, but at the end of the day, you are human. We're all human, which means we can all be wrong. We can all make mistakes. The brilliant boxing mind that Teddy Atlas is, and he is a brilliant boxing mind. This same boxing mind predicted that Canelo Alvarez would beat Floyd Mayweather. That didn't work out like that, did it? Let's talk about this though. Here's the last thing I want to discuss. I'm noticing, and I want to give the whole community here on YouTube credit for this. There was an interview, I want to say it was with the Boxing Voice. I really, really want to say it was with the Boxing Voice, where he interviewed Jim Lampley about being biased. If that wasn't on the Boxing Voice, I apologize to whoever that was. But they really got up in Jim Lampley's face and asked him some tough questions about being biased, about commentators being biased about Harold Letterman and his scorecards. And if you notice in Ward Kovalev too, you could tell in Jim Lampley's commentary, every time Harold Letterman would give his card, Jim would try to qualify and try to quantify. This is just Harold Letterman's point of view. He's scoring for us, but he's the only one here that can give a score and then give his opinion. Last point here, then I promise you we're going to land the plane. We have to understand what the expert commentators, with the unofficial judges, what the commentators do. They frame our opinion of the fight. And sometimes that wouldn't necessarily be your opinion if you were watching the fight without them. It's kind of like those infomercials that you can catch at 2 o'clock in the morning. You're sitting up there watching the infomercial and they're talking about, here's a water hose that you can put in your pocket. You can wash your car and it folds up to such a small thing that you can just stick the water hose in your pocket. And they keep saying it over and over and over. And then you're sitting there thinking, man, that's tight. I like that. I want a water hose I can put in my pocket. So then the next thing you know, you're on the phone, giving your credit card information, spending $19.99 for a water hose that you can put in your pocket. You get it home and you open it up and you say, man, I don't need a water hose I can put in my pocket. That's the same thing that happens a lot of times with these fights. So again, no disrespect to any of these expert commentators, no disrespect to Teddy Atlas. I do feel like him being right in Jeff Horn's face, confronting Jeff Horn right off of his fight on national TV like that, I felt like that was a little disrespectful. If Jeff Horn would have turned in the heat of the moment, because some people just said, well, Teddy was excited. It was the heat of the moment. His emotions were running high. But if Jeff Horn would have turned around in the heat of the moment and said, well, I think you suck as a commentator. I think you're one of the worst commentators I ever saw. And I know when you fought Pacquiao with Tim Bradley, you guys game plan stuff and it was the worst Bradley looked of all 3 fights. We, as the people would have said that Jeff Horn crossed the line. Jeff Horn shouldn't have been disrespectful to Teddy Atlas. Just like when Floyd got mad at Larry Merchant after all the years of the things Merchant said and Floyd just blew up on him. Floyd was seen as the bad guy beyond that. But here's the one thing to think. We say Teddy Atlas was in the moment. He was emotional right there. But Teddy Atlas was actually just on the outside of the ring watching the scrap. Horn was actually in the ring throwing the punches. So if the onus of the responsibility is on one of the two to keep their emotions in check, I think the responsibility should actually be on the commentator, because the fighter, the athlete, has just come out of a violent situation. Anyway, guys, let me know what you think. Jump in that comment box. And like I always say, sometimes we're going to agree, sometimes we're going to disagree, sometimes you're going to love me, sometimes you're going to hate me, but at the end of the day, it's all love. It's just sports, baby. Let's go. Amazing Eric, subscribe.